we're going to start off with the stiff leg deadlifts. However, I've realized that I've actually been overworking my hamstrings. I've been doing a hip hinge movement, so SLDL, as well as a knee flexion movement, for example, a seated leg curl. And I've realized that because I've been working the hamstrings in 2 different variations, but on the same workout, I've just been like ridiculously overworking my hamstrings to a point where my recovery time is longer than like 3 days for hammies, which is a sign that you're overworking them and it's not necessarily optimal, you could say. So what I'm going to do is train SLDLs one day and then train hamstring curls the other day, split them up and just see how it works today. So I'll do SLDLs today, then I'll do hamstring curls on the next lower day, and hopefully that feels like a lot better. I just want to work on my endurance. My legs have always been really slow at recovering, so if I can kind of split that up and that feels a lot better, then obviously that'll be a really good sign. We'll get a leg extension, adductor, calf raise, hip thrust, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think that'll be it for today's session. So I mainly wanted to work on like, am I overloading my hamstrings too much? That's probably what I want to title today's video and have the main focus about. I'm trying to be a little bit more experimental with my titles and thumbnails, and the music I feel like is really starting to get on quite loud now. We're going to be on the treadmill for another like couple minutes or so, and then we'll get into some proper stretches, and then we'll get over onto the stiff leg deadlift platform so we can actually start the workout. But I'll see you guys in a moment. We are starting off with some SLDLs. I've got 130 on. So it is indeed an up from last week. So hopefully this goes well. I just need to try and see this as the same weight as last week, so I don't get it too much in my head that it's heavier. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of it is psychological. You don't think you can pull the weight, yet you actually can. But we'll try and get this a good set. Nope. Just the 3 reps today. I felt like I could have got 4, but I felt like also my back was going to get blown out. So a big drop off in reps, but we did add 10 kilos. So I guess we can expect. We'll lower it now to 120, I think. And we're trying to get another few reps of that. Oh. I'm such an idiot. My mic was in my pocket the whole time. I do apologize. 7 reps though. We'll take that. That's a lot better. I think maybe I was just cold first set. Maybe I was just cold. But that felt so much smoother and so much better. I think I could have been, maybe I should have done an extra warm up or something for my lower back, because my lower back hurt on that first set. I think maybe by form I wasn't bracing properly. I think another thing that as well that you guys got to focus on is bracing is so important. If you can learn how to brace, everything becomes like 10 times easier with kind of all exercises. So definitely something that even I need to work on. But those 7 reps moved smoothly. Let's just say that. I noticed it was my mic in my pocket about halfway through the set because I accidentally knocked it. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, but we're gonna go get from hip thrust now, see how that moves. I've actually remembered to add my mic onto my top this time. So let's try and not make that silly mistake again. But we got hip thrust. We did 4.5 plates last time. So we did 2, 4, 6, 8, 90, 180 kg added weight. This time we've got 190 added weight. So of course we hit 2 sets of 7. So I thought 190 for 4, 5, maybe. If it's too heavy, then obviously next session we'll jump in between. We'll do 185. But I thought because the 7 moved really well last time. Why not go for it? There's no harm in doing so. I pushed myself with the SLDLs today, so let's push myself with this. But anyways, let's get this set. Not bad. I think a few of them were a little bit too fast, but that went up a lot better than what I expected, I cannot lie. We'll get another set of that. That felt a little bit better on my hip bones with the jump I added this time, so that's good. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Standing calf raise time. I actually saw a really funny exercise where you can do a calf press on a cable. So you put like the ball of your foot on the D handle and you press downwards. So it's like doing a calf raise on a leg press, or even a calf raise like this, to be honest, because it's the extension part that you're working. So I saw it, it looked actually quite like a good exercise. So I'm gonna be intrigued to see how that's gonna blow up over on TikTok. Unless I'm the first person, unless, you know, I follow the trend and I make the video on it. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll get one more. Oh. We'll just readjust. We'll take 7. All right, adductor time. We did, I think, 8 reps of 86. So I might go in between 86 and 93, because I remember I found 93 a little bit too heavy. So we might try 86 with 1 added, so that'd be 88.3. We'll see how that goes, I think. And we can just, every session we can just up it by 1 pin, as long as we can hit like 6. Oh my God, oh my days. I notice I get to like this part of the workout and I usually just blow out steam. Like I struggle to kind of get that extra push in, like almost like as if I just run out of breath. And oh, it's hard to get that extra little push just for that extra rep, but no, we'll take 6. We'll take that for sure. Guys, I think I'm done. I think I'm very much done. I am absolutely battered. Only 5 exercises. Obviously we've taken out the leg curl now, so that's not in our regular routine, but oh my days. My quads, not even necessarily my quads, but my legs are just absolutely battered. My CNS is battered. I think it's time to go home now. I think it's time to go home, regenerate, have coffee, food, and then I might try and talk a little bit more in depth about overloading a certain muscle group and why you kind of want to try and sway away from unnecessarily overloading, which is very simple to do. Like you could overload your quads by doing leg press, squat, leg extension, something like that, and like that's too much unless you really wanted. That's the thing, if you weren't going to hit quads in the next leg day, then it's fine. But if you find frequency more important and you want to hit the quads twice a week, then it might become difficult if you're a natural lifter, just due to natural recovery. Obviously, unless you take like peptides or stuff like that, then obviously you're going to recover faster. But for someone like me, and I've had 2 knee surgeries, so my recoveries tend to always be a little bit longer than the standard majority of people. But I'll try and talk a little bit more in depth as to why that happens. I am now done. I'm happy with the weight, so let's go home, have some food, and drink some coffee, man. Right, I know I said I'll do an outro just explaining, and I did actually an extra little bit of research on whether or not overtraining a single muscle group like the hamstrings can actually hinder your progress. And I looked it up, and I found studies where it actually proved that what I said was correct. And you guys can look it up yourselves as well. That overtraining a hamstring, so for example doing an SLDL and a leg curl, and you don't recover for your next leg day, it means that you're clearly overtraining. If it's not recovered within 3 days, you're overtraining that muscle group. Which means then you've got to really rethink about your workout, and you've got to rethink about the exercises you choose, because you don't want to overtrain it. Otherwise you're going to be hindering, your muscle gains. Because then I'm only able to hit hamstrings 1 time a week. Yeah, I'm able to hit everything else twice a week, which theoretically doesn't really necessarily make sense, because then my hamstrings are just going to be lacking, which is not something that I want. I want my hamstrings to grow more. I want to bring them up more. That's why I've been putting a little bit more focus on them compared to my old leg days. If you were to look at my old leg days, hamstrings would just kind of be thrown in there, if that makes sense. But now there's definitely a little bit more primary focus on growing them. So that's why I'm researching more into this and making sure I can actually hit them with a 2 times frequency per week with not overloading and overtraining them. So starting from now on my next leg day, actually, well, I already did it last session. I did SLDLs and I didn't do leg curls. So instead, next session, I won't do SLDLs, but I will do leg curls. And if I'm being real, my hamstrings feel okay. And I did legs yesterday. My hamstrings actually don't feel too bad. Usually they're absolutely battered, but right now I can move them about and there's only a little bit of muscle soreness, which is general for a day after. But you know, it genuinely feels amazing. So if that can genuinely be the case, then, oh, heck yeah, that's amazing. But you know, honestly, I'm still feeling good. However, I will see you guys again tomorrow. It's really quite gloomy, but there's some really cool sky that I'm gonna show you guys. Look at that. Wow. Wait, that looks so much better on camera than in real life. I cannot lie. Damn, that looks so cool. But anyways, let me stop rambling on. I'll see you guys again shortly.